All right. Hello and welcome to Tech Talk 7. I decided to record this on our new Bramble space. I am super excited about this. I'm super excited to share this, and I'd like to thank Bramble for providing us this beautiful space. So the way that I'm going to record the session today is by doing exactly what we're going to be doing in the live session, and hopefully you will be able to see us in the live session next time we meet. So if you come to Bramble, that's what's going to happen for the next one. I'm going to show you what the space looks like. All right, so people who came here, this is my dog Buffy, by the way. They came straight to our meeting space. Of course, I'm recording this outside, and I was presenting here in the spotlight. So that's basically what happened. And I'm going to now open the presentation. Just like everybody could see, I know I'm standing in a spotlight, and this is the presentation. So I thought it would be more fun if I presented it this way. Okay, so this session is the first one of what we hope is going to be a series of what we call net learning. Net learning sessions are going to be held for linked HR members and also for the Leader Campus members. And the idea is for you to learn something and also have the opportunity to get to know each other. So you can see on the space that I'm recording right now that there are tiny little tables. In fact, let me close this and show you. So you can see that people can sit around these little tables. And then if you're sitting around one of these tables, you can actually see the video of the people around you so that you have a more immersive and a little more, I guess, human experience in the virtual world instead of good old Zoom. So that's what Bramble is all about. Feel free to come to our space and visit it. Even if I'm not here, you can walk around, you can see what it has to offer. It's super, super fun. All right, so let me open the presentation again and move on. All right, so here is our roadmap. First, of course, show you the Bramble space, which I'm already showing you. The people who were here, they also had the opportunity to have a getting to know you discussion, a conversation with each other for networking purposes. And then the whole purpose of the session was to introduce to people WordTune, WordTune/read, and Scribble. Okay. Now, before we started with the session, one thing that I shared with everybody is like the elephant in the room, right? Because people say, hey, if something is free, that's because you are the product. And that's not really the case here. So I wanted to be very transparent about why I'm doing what I'm doing, why we're doing it specifically with Linked HR and the Leader Campus, and what's our relationship with those organizations, including Bramble. So the first question is, do we earn a commission? Do I earn a commission? No. Neither I nor Linked HR are earning any commissions from Bramble or WordTune or from any of the technology tools that we introduce. Do we share your information? So when you sign up for one of our events through Eventbrite, do I share that information with anybody else? The answer, once again, is no. We do not share the emails and the names of the people who participated in our sessions with anybody else. So then the question, a reasonable question, is what's in it for you, Chris? Why do you do this? Couple of reasons. The first is, yes, we do occasionally have free accounts for some of these tools to use either with my research or my teaching, most of them with my research and my teaching, because I love getting free tools to use with my students, to be quite honest with you. But also in the case of Bramble, for example, Bramble is amazingly giving us a space to use with you, with Linked HR. For example, one of the plans that I have, kind of the vision, the dream, is to have a leadership conference, an HR conference that is in this virtual space. And Bramble is giving us the virtual space for that. So we're not getting any commission, but we're getting the tool that we can then use with you. Another what's in it for me, well, I'm a professor. So part of my job is to do outreach. So sometimes I do these presentations for free because frankly, it's part of my job. So I wanted to make sure that that was explained, because people might be a little like, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing these tech talks? Okay, here's why. Cool. moving on. We already are in the Bramble space, so I don't need to explain it to you. And this is just for you to have an idea of what happened in the live session. So people had the opportunity to talk to each other about things that they wanted people to know about themselves, their superpower, and their favorite tech tool. So I started by saying things that I wanted people to know about me. I've been married to 30 years to Mel Wildermuth, who is also, he is one of the chairs of, or my co-chair in the Leader Campus and the content leader for the Leader Campus. And also he is the manager and and the chief moderator really for Linked HR. So that is Mel. You can see him over there. And that is our daughter, Maggie, in the very proud day in which she graduated. I am a professor at Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa, where I lead the Master in Leadership Development. So this is what I would like you to know about me. In terms of my superpower, I'm going to share two. One of them is quite funny. The other one is a little bit more tame. The one that is more tame is this one. I'm tech queen. Not so much in terms of like really being tech queen, like don't ask me about coding or any complicated stuff, but I'm really good at finding tech toys online, and I absolutely love doing it. So that's one of my superpowers, is finding cool technologies online. Another superpower, and that is the funny one, is that I am really good doing my own nails. And I am one of those people who can actually do my right hand. So if you're a guy listening to this, you're probably like, but if you are a woman listening to this, you're probably getting impressed. So consider yourself impressed and consider me proud of my nails and my hands. My husband is listening to this now and he's probably laughing. In terms of what's my favorite tech toy or tech tool, I'll be honest with you and say, you know what? It's Google. Why is it Google? Because Google is my best friend. Google is basically how I discover all my tech toys. Now, one thing that happens too is that by now, all the algorithms know that I like tech toys. So frankly, they show up everywhere I go. Like I open Facebook and boom, every new tech toy shows up in my feed, right? But it's basically because I look for them on Google. And that's how I find all the toys that I find. All right. So I'm going to skip that, but this gives you a sense of what it is that people talked about. All right, moving straight on, let's talk about WordTune. WordTune is a tool that I actually discovered last year. In fact, it was one of the tools that I talked about in one of my early tech talks, but it has changed since then, and it is so much better now that I thought it deserved a second look. So what is WordTune? It is basically a way to improve your writing. It gives you suggestions to revamp, rewrite what you're doing. It does much more than that, though, and I'm going to demonstrate. How do I use it? Frankly, I can't imagine not using it. I use it to write proposals, to write blogs, when I write announcements to Linked HR or the Leader Campus. I'm starting to write a book. So for my book, I use it all the time. I even use it when I have a difficult email to send. So how do I use it? Every time I start writing. Basically, that's it. Okay, so here are some of the features that I'm going to share with you on WordTune. First, I'm going to show you how WordTune rewrites what you wrote and give you several suggestions. Then I'm going to show you how you can you can either pick only one sentence or an entire paragraph, which is really, really handy. Then you can also use WordTune to give you just synonyms of specific words. It does translations right now, only translations into English, but it's still super handy, especially for those of us who speak English as a second language, like me. I'm originally from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, so my native language is Portuguese. And sometimes it's like I have this word in Portuguese and I can't remember what it's like in English. Well, I can just write it in Portuguese, and then WordTune is going to know that I'm trying to write in English and is going to tell me what the translation is right there and then. We'll go through some frequently asked questions. Where does it work in terms of like, how can you use it in different different venues, different sites. And then I'll share with you the page that tells you what the price is. Like a lot of these tools, Wartoon has a free version and then a premium version. And I'm going to show you what's the difference between them. Okay, hopefully this is going to work. Okay, it did work. The only thing is that it's not showing my face. So let me see if I can change that. Oh, okay, cool. Now I can show my face again. All right. So what I decided to do is, and I'm going to go back here to my notes, and I'm going to show you how this works. So this is just, I just picked an article that I was working on to show you how WordTune rewrites what I have. So I'm just going to highlight this. And by the way, WordTune is a Chrome extension, so it's installed on my Chrome. You see this here is WordTune. So if I click here, it's going to start suggesting a rewrite. So I had written in the very opening scene of the first episode of the series, The Game of Thrones, 3 men from the Night's Watch ride their horses in a snowy wilderness. So the first suggestion that WordTunes is giving me is to use the word through a snowy wilderness instead of in, which actually I like. So if I just click here, it's going to change it for me directly. Then it goes straight to the next sentence. They are looking for wildlings, the inhabitants of the vast area north of the protective wall. If you have seen Game of Thrones, you probably know what on earth all that is. And right here, you see how it's rewriting this sentence. So Will, the youngest man, discovers a ghastly scene, a group of dead wildlings, including children, arranged in a circle, which honestly, it is a better way of saying this than the way that I wrote. One thing that I wanted to bring to your attention here is that you see here that in the premium version, you can also use a casual tone. So I'm going to click here and then it changes the style to make it a little bit more casual. I can choose the formal tone. So then, of course, it makes it more formal. And then see here. And by the way, you see that there are various options. So sometimes what I do, if I don't like exactly what they wrote, sometimes what I do is I read their various options and I say, this word is just perfect. That word is just perfect. And then I just modify it myself. If I love what they have, then I just click on it and boom, there it is. Let's see, 2 other features that I find super helpful. This one is, honestly, expand I don't find helpful because I cannot imagine me wanting to expand anything that I write. I am already wordy enough, but this one shortens it. And I use this one a lot when I'm writing proposals and I can only have a summary of, I don't know, 150 words, or I'm writing an announcement for LinkedIn and I can only have so many characters. So that really, really helps me to reduce the wordiness. So you can see how that goes, right? It continues changing the sentences or suggesting how to change the sentences. And usually the very first one is the one that people use most often. So that is the rewrite feature. Now, let's take a look at the translation features. So this sentence here I wrote in Portuguese, which is my native language. If I click here, it translates it for me. At the first dinner of the War of Thrones series, 3 men from the night patrol cavalcaded through a snowy desert. Honestly, of course, night patrol is the Night's Watch, but you have to actually watch the series to know what the heck the Night's Watch is. So it's reasonable that Wartoon would not know what on earth is the Night's Watch, because that's something very specific to that series. And one thing that I can do is I can click any of those, and then I can ask it to rewrite one more time, just to make it a little more reasonable. For example, here I don't really like the word cavalcaded. I find it a little weird. So then I can just click on it. Oh, there we go. Road. See, so I can choose only one word and change it. So I really like that. And I can do that with any of the words. So I can click here, go there, protective, so-called, barrier, famous, formidable. Actually, I'm not finding any suggestions that I particularly like for protective. I might find something under snowy, snow covered. Okay, that's a possibility. But it does give me lots of suggestions on different words that I can use. Sometimes I also did it in Spanish. So you can see here that what I wrote is, in the opening scene of War of Thrones, 3 men ride along a snowy desert. And that's what I wrote in Spanish. But sometimes my problem is not writing the entire thing in Spanish or in Portuguese, because frankly, there are other translators that I could use for that. Sometimes my problem is that I cannot think of a way to let me stop this here because I don't want to confuse you with two different tools. There we go. Okay. So, for example, here I wrote, the first Cena of Game of Thrones shows a group of men cavalgando in a snowy wilderness. So basically that's an example in which there were two words that I couldn't think what they would be, and I wrote the words in Portuguese. So if I click here, okay, and I click on WordTunes. And of course, the problem here is that Wartoon does not know whether Santa is dinner or scene. So the best option is this one. A scene in the first episode of Game of Thrones shows a group of men riding horses through a snowy wilderness. And if I click here, scene and episode. So it gives me, and cavalgando, if I go here, it tells me that it's just riding or galloping. See? So sometimes it's helpful when I have like one word that I'm not exactly sure what it is. And most of the times for me, it's not so much not knowing the word is not remembering the word. It's that all I need is that click memory booster. Frankly, I would not do that for, I don't know, other languages that I don't know. Like, this is something, imagine that you already know English pretty well, but your native language is something else, and you just need a little memory booster, because otherwise there isn't an automatic translator out there that is going to be perfect. And let's see if there's anything else that I wanted to show you. I think this is pretty much what I wanted to show you now. WordTune also has an editor. Let me see if I can go to the WordTune editor to show you. So here it is. And then it gives you some recommendations on ways that you can enhance your writing in the editor. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you in terms of WordTune. Let me stop this now. Okay. In terms of frequently asked questions, is it free? There is a free version, and in the free version, I believe you can, and I'm going to show you the plan in a moment. You can use it so many times a day, and then if you want to use more than that many times, then you would have to pay. So that's a pretty common question. Let's see if there's anything else that you can obviously go to this FAQ. You can click on the presentation itself and it's going to take you to the FAQ. Here it is. How do I get started? Oh, here it is. What platform does it work on? I use it a lot in Google Docs. But it also works on the Outlook web version. It works on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Slack. And then there's the online editor, and then it can be used as a Microsoft Word add-in. So that's what it is now, but they keep changing it all the time. And there are more. For example, I'm a huge lover of Canva. That's a graphic designer, and it also creates amazing presentations. If you're using Canva, it also works on Canva. So you can go ahead and read this later. There is a 40% discount for academics, so for students and professors, if you want to have the if you want to have the premium version. And in terms of the plans, they show up here. Here it is. So you can rewrite up to 10 sentences a day. Otherwise, here's the price in general. It's what, 119 per year, or yeah, I think there's a difference between yearly. Yeah, so it's either 24.99 per month, or it is 119.88 per year. But like I said, there's a discount of 40% for students and professors. Okay. So that's basically what I wanted to show you in terms of WordTune. Now I'm going to have to do a little bit of skipping over here because we've already gone through that. And now let's go into the next one, which is my best friend, WordTune/read. So let me take a step back and say that as a professor and a researcher, I do a lot of reading, and I have to very quickly skim through tons and tons of articles, because when you see an academic article and you see like 200 sources out there, it is the issue is not whether we have read them or not. The issue is that for those articles to be in our bibliography, we probably went through 3 or 4 times as many just to identify the ones that we were going to use it in the first place. And you probably, if you do any kind of writing, or if you're writing blogs or something, a report for your organization or a book or anything at all that you write, we do a lot of researching of tools that we don't actually read. So what WordTune/read does is it allows me to go very quickly through bunches and bunches of articles and then decide which ones I'm actually going to use. So that's basically how I use WordTune/read. So let me show you how WordTune/read works. So I have seen it's basically a summarizer of articles, but it goes farther than that. Most summarizers of articles, it's like a black box. It just gives you, let me make myself bigger here again, choose camera. Here we go. Okay, here I am again. Right, so in most of the summarizers, what they give you is kind of a black box. So you feed in an article, they give you a summary, but you have no idea where that summary is coming from. What is it that you're missing? If there's anything that you're missing from there. And also for me, which is most important when I'm writing, I need to know if there's something in that summary that is coming exactly from the text, in which case I need to put quotation marks and a page number. Otherwise, guess what? It's plagiarism, which to me would be a career ender. So I really, really, really need to know whether there's something in that summary that is coming exactly, and not paraphrased, but exactly from the text. And I need to see what's in the text. I also need to make sure that I'm not misunderstanding something in the article because I'm reading the summary. So I can't really use a black box of a summarizer. So in comes WordTune/read, and I'm going to show you what it does. So there are 2 things that you can do. You can either paste here the URL of something that you want to read, and I'm going to show that later, or you can browse. And I'm going through my downloads, and I'm going to enter this article that is actually an article that I had that I downloaded from my library yesterday. And then you're going to see what it does. So instead of basically giving me a black box, which is just this summary here, it shows me exactly where it's coming from. So I can read this on the right just to very quickly take a look at what's in the article and what's important in the article. But if there's something that I really want to use, I can click here and I can see exactly where it's coming from. So I really, really love this feature. But there's another feature that I like even better, and that is a feature called Spotlight. So what Spotlight does is it allows me, let me see here, let me click. Spotlight. So basically what it allows me to do is to re-summarize looking for specific topics that I may be interested in. Okay, so if I go here, when I click on Spotlight, you can see here that there are numbers of topics, I guess: America, work, US Americans, people, values. So let's say that I'm particularly interested in values. I can click here, and now the summary that I'm going to get is going to give me all the important paragraphs that come from the values. Once again, I can click on any of those, and it's going to show me exactly where things are. So I find that super, super handy. Okay, now let's talk about how can you get this? What's the free version like? Okay, now I can get rid of that. Cool. So what's the free version like? How much do you pay? That kind of thing. So let me move here, and that takes me exactly to the price. So this comes from their website. It has a free plan where you can read 5 new documents per month. Beyond that, then you can choose between 3 plans that vary on the number of new documents that you can read each month, starting from $9.99 per month. So that is what I'm finding here. I don't know if I can find any other WordTune read for the exact plans. Let me look for that for a moment. Okay, took me a little while to find this. So free is 5 documents per month. Basic is 20 documents per month. Plus is 50 documents per month. And then Pro is unlimited documents per month. That's basically what I found here when I looked at the WordTune read plans. Other than that, guys, I'm going to have to send you to the WordTune read. Let me make myself show up here again. I'm going to have to send you to the WordTune read people directly, because honestly, I don't get into the price thing. Like I said in the beginning, I don't have anything to do with this company other than having discovered them and really, really liking the tool. So if you like the tool to use with your team, I would encourage you to contact them directly and see if you can get discounts or what the situation may be. Cool. All right. One other thing that I wanted to show you is that WordTune/read also summarizes documents that you find on the web. So for example, I'm going to go here and I'm going to look for something in the Pew Research Center, because I trust their work. And let's see if I can find something here that I like. Okay, financial issues, top the reasons U.S. adults live in multi-generational homes. Honestly, I just picked this kind of randomly. And then I'm just going to paste here the address. And if everything went well, it's going to do pretty much, yes, it's going to do pretty much exactly what it does with a PDF file. So pretty cool. I'm excited. All right. So that is, now I can get rid of that again. So that is WordTune and WordTune/read. So at that point in the live session, I asked people to chat about whether they would use either tool, if so how, and whether they had any questions, because in the live session, usually I invite people from those organizations to be there just in case there are questions that I can't answer, which happens quite often because since I don't work there are lots of questions that I can't answer. So hopefully in the session, they got their questions answered by the representative from WordTune. Okay. And next, we're going to go to my third favorite tool, something that really has saved my academic life this year, because I had to do so much research and so much seeking for articles. And I also am always preparing classes. I would say for those of you who are in the talent development field, who are listening to me and who are putting together training programs, this thing is a find. And it's called Scribble. I love it. I use it with my students. I got an account for myself. I got an account for my daughter. It is like my favorite, best thing ever that I discovered recently. So let me go to Scribble and show you how this works. I'm going to sign in. Okay, I am in the EDU Pro plan. Okay, so basically what Scribble does is it allows me to create, let me make myself bigger here again. Okay, here I am back. All right. So what Scribble does is it allows me to create a variety of libraries, and each of those libraries is going to have all the PDF files, the articles, the online websites, like pretty much everything that I'm using for a particular class or research project or anything like that. Like in this case, this international leadership folder that you're seeing here is everything that I'm finding to use with the class that I'm teaching on global leadership. Super cool. It puts everything in one place, but it goes farther than that. So let me go, for example, let me see what's something that might have, what is it that I'm going to demonstrate to you? Taking a class on deaf culture that is absolutely fascinating. And what you see in here are all the tags that I used as I was reading various articles. And then what happens is if I'm writing an actual paper, I'm going to go to the papers that I wrote. See, you can add the papers here. I write them on Google Doc. There it is. So this is the article that I'm working on. And of course, I would be using Wartoon as well. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Add On and Scribble Writer and Start. And hopefully it's going to start. There it is. So then what happens is that it shows on the right of my screen, or at least it will. Let me pause this while my internet catches up. There it is. So then there are various things that show up. The first is that I can actually look for something that I have created a tag on. So let's say that I look for, well, uploaded just means that something was uploaded. Usually I get rid of that one. Let me look for family relations. I think I have lots of tags on it. Okay, so now everything, every comment that I wrote, every citation, every like quote that I highlighted in the articles that I read, all show on the right. And even cooler, what happens is, so I can look at my full annotation here. So this looks like something that I actually highlighted, like as in a quote that I wanted to use. So it shows it to me here. And then if I want to go to the original article, I can go to the original article. It's going to show me exactly where it is, so I can read it again in context in case I forgot where on earth it was. And better still, it's going to upload my bibliography at the same time. So let me go here and I can say what's the style that I'm using, whatever it is. I think they have APA, MLA, and Chicago. So I can choose my bibliography, and it's going to update my bibliography as I write, especially because I can go here to sources and I can say, hey, can you please add this to my bibliography? And then if I go down here at the end of my paper, you see that it creates the bibliography for me. I find this tool amazing. And what I started doing, so if you're a professor, if you're a student, if you're in talent development, or if you need to write a report that requires a lot of research, this thing is pretty amazing. Now, as I'm recording this, I actually posted a question to them, because one thing that I could not find, let me go back here to Scribble. I can see the plans, right? Like you go to scribble.com and you go to plans and you see the prices, and you can see that the basic plan is free. And I think you have either 2 weeks or a month of a trial anyway. But the issue is that Scribble is mostly created for people who are in higher education or in K-12 education. So their plans seem to be for education student, education teachers, see? And I don't see a plan here for somebody who is not in education, even though somebody who is not in education could definitely be using this plan. So stay tuned. I'm going to update that on my comments as soon as I hear back from them, because I posted a message to them today to the owners and founders of Scribble, asking them, hey, if people who attend my Tech Talk are interested in subscribing to Scribble and they don't want just the basic, they want the other ones, how much does it cost to them? I have no idea. You can have an idea by looking at the prices down here, but these are the prices for education. The free version is really helpful if all you want is to have a library in which you put all your everything that you're checking online. It's really cool because you can, like, you find this, I don't know, Society for Human Resource Management article that you would love to post to put in your library. You click one button and boom, it's in your library, right? So even the basic plan, which is totally free, is really helpful, but it's not going to have the tagging capabilities that I love so much. It will allow you to use web pages, annotate PDFs. They give you like several, see 4 highlight colors and 4 comment colors, and then all your highlights are going to be kept. So it's still useful, don't get me wrong. It's just that once you start using it, you might want to have the pro version, and I'd like to give you the information if I can find it. So let me close myself here and go back to the Bramble room. I think I already shared all that. And at that point, people in the room just discussed whether they would use Scribble and what their favorite writing and research tools are. So if you're watching this at home, I would ask you, would you use Wartoon? Would you use Wartoon/read? Would you use Scribble? And would you try these? And what are your favorite tools? And if you want in the YouTube to just enter your thoughts on the comment, I would love to see those for people who weren't there. And I think that's pretty much all I had, other than to say, hey, there are a couple of fun things coming up. So the first one is an e-learning update beyond the LMS that's going to be run by Casper Spiro. Casper is the founder of Easy Generator, which is an amazing tool that I use all the time for e-learning with my students at Drake University. I cannot imagine if I didn't have Easy Generator what I would have done during the pandemic. And also because all our classes are hybrid, Easy Generator allows me to create my e-learning program super, super fast. But this session is not going to be about Easy Generator. What Casper is going to be talking about are, first of all, an e-learning update. So what's going on? What are some of the technologies that we need to know about? And also, what are the alternatives to the good old-fashioned LMS? And I read something in his blog that really intrigued me. I didn't know what he was talking about, and I suspected you guys wouldn't either. So I asked him to come and share his expertise with us. And that's going to be on April 12th. It is when you click on the link to the presentation, I'm going to share the presentation link. It's going to take you straight there, and you're going to be able to register. Once again, it's going to be on Bramble. I hope you can come live to this one because Casper is super knowledgeable, and you're probably going to enjoy being able to ask questions and have them answered. So that's on April 12th, 10 a.m. Central Time. And then another one is on April 28th. So this time I'm going to be talking about engagement. What does culture have to do with it? So we're going to be talking about engagement and culture. Both of these sessions are for SHRM credit, 1 credit for each of those. And both of these sessions will allow you to interact with the people who come and have a lot of fun. One last thing that I shared is if you would like to run a program, either a webinar or maybe a roundtable, to please click on this form, and the form is going to show you what it is that you need to share with me and with Mel, so that we can start taking a look at who would like to help us with this, right? Because it's we would like to have maybe a couple of those a month. Maybe we could have some at different time zones so that the people in Asia and Oceania and Europe can have better better times for their sessions. So if you are interested, please click on the link and let us know what it is that you would like to talk about. And I think that's basically what it is. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the information, and see you soon. Happy learning, everyone.